recording. I'm just gonna add like a funny commentary bit saying how much I fucked up the first podcast. Anyway, I'll go ahead and introduce yourself while I go and cry in a corner.
Hello, I'm SlotBorg, a stop-motion animator on YouTube. I have 5,000 subscribers, almost 6,000 now.
Wow.
And, yeah.
6,000 already, congrats. Wow. Huh. For those of you who are not aware, and why would you be? I just uploaded it probably. We did the first podcast originally, like the first recording of it, but I got and fucked up, so this is us trying it again.
Take two.
But SlotBorg over here made some very good statements and crap. And I hope to God that I originally captured it through the screen recording, but I didn't. And now I'm going to completely banish OBS to the Shadow Realm and get what he recommended to me called Streamlabs. So definitely going to try that later.
Yes, do it.
Absolutely. Anyway, let's start with some basic questions. Actually, no, I'm going to switch it up because I already know. But, oh yeah, you know what? I don't think the fans or the viewers would know, so well I'll just ask different questions, but ask the questions I asked originally just to switch things up. So with a question that's completely new, let's see. You know what? Let me pull up the questionnaire list because I'm totally a professional podcast interviewer. I'm not some jackass who looked it up on YouTube just to try it out. God damn it. As you can all see, I'm not happy with myself, so just beating myself up for comedy's sake. Here we go. Stop motion podcast questions. Okay, here we go. So, Borg. I know that you've been active for how long on the whole animating online spectrum?
About 5 years.
About 5 years. And within those 5 years, how many paid projects or, say, commissions have you done?
I've done none, actually.
Really?
But I'd be open to try it.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually thinking because, I'm really trying to, build up the whole stop-motion community. Because I remember when I started around back in 2015, it was not so much non-existent, just kind of bare bones. So, I'll save it for the ending bit. But hold on a sec, I'm getting messages from another fellow animator. Stop spamming me your freaking videos. I'm already subscribed. But hey, that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, a fellow stop-motion animator. He wanted some pointers on how to do things and such. He's a good guy, though. He's a good guy. But okay, nice. Let's see. Moving on. You know what? I'm gonna give the mic to you. Tell us about about yourself, just a little bit.
Okay. Where do I start?
Anyway, when you were born.
My name is. My name is Michael, but I go by SlotBorg. I've been doing this for 5 years on YouTube. And, I am 18 years old. I can't think of anything interesting about me.
Oh, come on, you know you better than anybody. Okay, let's see.
That's a good point.
Alright. Oh, I was meaning to ask. Again, in context, this is epilogue. This is an epilogue to the first attempt when we were recording the podcast. But did you ever look into William Gale Vinton?
No, I didn't. I forgot.
That's fine. It's kind of like side homework to any young animators who want to know about a successful stop-motion animated story. But, to put it down short, Wilvin is basically the OG American claymation animator back in the 60s. He was successful for a while, but then he needed money, so he started going to shareholders. One of the shareholders being the shoe company Nike. On the The CEO at that current time, I believe from the 60s to early 2008-ish, was Phil Knight, a very rich man to this day, probably. And by the time Wilvin Studios, Wilvin's stop motion studio, was about to lose a whole crap of money and claim for bankruptcy or some nonsense, Phil Knight went and bought Wilvin Studios in its entirety and pulled a douchebag move by firing Wilvin out of his own studio. So later down the line, Wilvin tried to sue for at least the namesake of the company because it was, named after him, of course. But he lost the court sue, and he just resorted to. I think the last thing he did, he was actually a college instructor for animation back in what was it? In Berkeley, California, Berkeley, California University, I believe. Which is funny enough, the same university he graduated from many years ago when he just started out. But yeah, it's a good cautionary tale for any aspiring animator in general, stop motion or whatever other medium you're interested in. Because it was very heartbreaking. It was very heartbreaking to know that Leica Studios, the same people that made Coraline, Kubo and the Two Strings, Box Trolls, these guys essentially just started making their movies because they stole that same idea from a very talented man. And the only movie that William Vinton ever made was The Adventures of Mark Twain, which is a very good movie. I went ahead and saw it online for free. I can't really advertise the site because it will be shot down, but if you come across it, definitely recommend you watch it for free. It's a really good stop motion movie.
Neat.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
What's up?
I said I'll have to check it out.
Oh, my bad. All right. Nice. I hope you do, my man. I made a video touching up on the history, but I strongly recommend Electric Dragon 404's video on it. He basically touches on the entire history of Wilvin Studios, and he captures most of the points very well. But yeah, that's Wilvin for any stop motion animator out there. Really, I want to spread this story because I just feel like Leica needs to own up to that. They basically stole the dying man's dream, essentially. And here's the big kicker. The CEO of Nike at the time, Phil Knight, his son Travis Knight was actually he worked for Wilvin at the time, and he had no idea. The CEO of one of the shareholders' kids was working in the studio, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, so imagine his surprise when he sees, one of the shareholders and his son, who was an employee for Wilvin, just show up in his office and say, pull a Donald Trump and, you're fired, And,
nice.
Yeah, and funny enough, Travis Knight was basically gift-wrapped and handed Wilvin Studios to him. And that's when Leica Studios was born. Their first movie was Coraline.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Learning that story just pisses me off. Travis Knight never gave credit to Wilvin after he died or after him taking the studio. He was just basically that spoiled rich kid's son, and the bastard father was like, hey, I just took this company from this, hardworking animator who couldn't, deliver. Take it and do whatever the hell you want with it. Now, I will give credit that Travis Knight is a talented animator and director, but he should at least give credit where credit's due. He wouldn't know half the shit he knows if it wasn't for Wilvin, I guarantee you.
Probably not.
Yeah. And here's a fun fact. The new Bumblebee movie that came out a year ago?
The what movie?
Bumblebee, the Transformers movie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Travis Knight directed that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I saw that movie in theaters, and it's good. It's just that I hate that it came from such an asshole person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do appreciate him, going to, at least, somewhat taking the torch and continuing stop motion and making it mainstream through the movies, but just the just the fact that he just took a man's dreams, just because his rich father gave it to him. It just never sit right with me, and it never will.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. But that's enough, history on Will Benton. Let me see. I'm going to rummage through the list of questions here. Here we go. So, Borg, why do you work with, mostly, what any stop-motion anime starts with? Why do you work with toys and not, like, handmade stop-motion armatures?
Because it's what I have access to, and I'm lazy.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I tried my hand at making like wire armatures once. It's definitely easy. I can say that. They have more range of posability. It's just that they are such high maintenance, especially wire armatures. But in context to the first time we tried recording this podcast, I actually gave him a few pointers on how to go about making wire armatures. And if any of you guys out there want to try your hand at it, I strongly recommend you look up like YouTube videos and such. More specifically, Cranbisher, John, I forgot his name, not Johnny McCone, but Johnny McCone is another good stop motion animator. I love his Toy Wars series. It's really good. But there's this one other guy. He was from Britain. He basically showed me the K&S brass tubing method of making the wire armatures. And then the Stan Winston company. They're the guys behind all the special effects of your favorite movies, even to this day. Like Terminator, Jurassic Park, even like the original the original Star Wars trilogy.
Oh man,
yeah. They've been working in cinema for many years, so they know their shit. I actually saw one of their online classes on how to make wire stop motion armatures. Very useful advice. Very, very good tips on how to like make quality wire armatures. But there are so many other stop motion animators and videos and tutorials online now that you can look up. See, when I started back in 2015, there were hardly any videos like that. I had to resort to what few videos there were and online articles how to figure out how going about making wire armatures. I could definitely say it's worth it. You have more posability. You can essentially make any character you want. It's just very high maintenance, either like building the character or fixing the character. And there's definitely a lot of there's a lot of problem solving that comes with it, really with anything.
Yeah, I'd love to make an armature, but I just haven't got around to it yet.
Oh shoot! I don't know when you'd be down, but I could give you a list of materials, and I could we could hit each other out through Discord again. And I could just give you step by steps.
That'd be cool.
The longest time I've made a single wire armature is probably about 1 to 2 hours. It's actually not that long either. It just depends on what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to sound fancy, but my smooth brain is not letting me find the right word. It depends on how detailed or how the design of the character is. Very intricate is I think what I was going for. I tried to stick with the bare basic design, so that way I don't go with anything crazy, but I have seen some very, very well detailed wire armatures, and ball and socket armatures as well. Ball and socket armatures, funny enough, are the most expensive to make, whether you're building it from the ground up or buying the armature online. Made me cry when I saw one I really wanted, and it was $250.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was basically like a Figma, only it was just a skeleton, not no accessories or shit like that. But anyway, let me see what else I'm tried to. Oh, here we go. Here's a good question. If you can talk to your past self, what would you tell them?
Don't get discouraged. Keep going. Yeah.
Nice.
It gets better.
That's always good advice to tell yourself in the past. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, here's a few questions that I asked prior to the first recording. Rest in peace, first recording. Do you see yourself making stop motion animation as a career?
Hopefully, yes. I'm not sure exactly how it's all going to work out, but I'd like to make a series of some kind, like Wallace and Gromit or Shaun the Sheep or something.
That'd be cool. I could totally see that. And with the series you're doing right now, I feel bad for forgetting. Villain Inc., right?
Yeah, Villains Inc.
Villains Inc. Yeah, I personally like it. How many episodes are you at so far with that with that series?
I have 2 episodes out so far, and I'll start working on the 3rd one soon.
Right on. And speaking of your shows, actually, which one did you start? Which platform did you start in first originally? Newgrounds or YouTube?
I started on YouTube, and then moved to Newgrounds when I thought YouTube was collapsing.
Same, because of the whole Copa shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, freaking Copa. I mean, it's not as bad now, but at the start of it, just from like reading the documents and shit, it sounded like that they would shoot anybody down for any of the little things. But thankfully, that is not the case, and it got revised, so that's good. Still, fuck you, Susan Wojcicki. You're money grubbing bitch. Just kidding, no. I shouldn't say that. She's the god of YouTube. She could probably shoot me down with just a thought. On my channel, just not in real life. If she had that much influence, then I'd be concerned. It would be like the Bourne Legacy or some shit. I'd be fighting the system just to take it down. Except it's YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, I was gonna ask another question. Oh, yeah! So what was it like, your first try on Newgrounds? I understand, like, Newgrounds is, like, literally everything by everyone, right? But a good majority of it is just porn. What was it like, the first experience?
My first experience on Newground was, quiet, I guess. No one really paid attention to my videos. I got maybe 1 or 2 comments. And I got the same rating on all of my videos.
What rating was that?
That was like 3 stars.
Same with me, man. Yeah, I'd give it like, at least a year. Those ratings will go up.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, 5 years. So, how long have you been on Newgrounds, though? Like 2 years?
Let's see. Let me find my Newgrounds account.
There you go.
I created my Newgrounds account. Oh, I don't think it says. Oh, yeah, it does. Almost a year ago.
Wow, so about a year. Not bad. I haven't touched mine in a long-ass while, but that's because, for Newgrounds, I try to limit it to just the animations, because, when it comes to uploading any videos, they're mostly, like single content focused. Like, I've seen very few tutorials on Newgrounds, but, of course, why would there be? It's primarily animation. So, there's that. Or short films. Animation or short films. There's this one short film I saw on Newgrounds a year ago that I really liked, but I can't remember the name for the life of me. It had kind of like this indie movie vibe in the post-apocalypse, so it's just these 2 guys walking in the desert, and they're looking for water and shit. It was a really good short. I really want to remember what it's called, but I can't remember it for the life of me.
Oof. I tell you, but I don't know either.
Right. Oh, so you know which one I'm talking about?
No, I don't know.
Okay. You would like it. And speaking of movies, actually, what are your, what's your favorite genre of films?
That's a good question. I never really thought of it. I really like, monster movies, but not like Frankenstein monsters, more like Jurassic Park and Godzilla and stuff like that.
Ah, kaiju films.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Cloverfield? Because I haven't.
I haven't, but it looks interesting.
Yeah. It's mostly... It starts out as a found footage horror movie, but... you know, the Cloverfield monsters is like giant and everything. At the end, it's like, oh my god, what the hell? Yeah. But that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I think, I don't know, you probably seen it, but did you see Godzilla King of the Monsters?
Oh, yes, that's like my second favorite movie.
In theaters, right?
No, I didn't watch it in theaters.
Ah, that's too bad.
Unfortunately.
I did, and it was fucking amazing. I was in my seat, and then every time the kaiju showed up, I was like, oh my god! It's like I'm actually there, because I was sitting like closest to the screen, so I was looking up, and it was just an experience. I feel like giant anything movies, so like giant robots, giant monsters, those are the kind of movies I would go to the theaters for, just for the experience. Because when I saw King of the Monsters in theaters, it was such a ride. Seeing Godzilla and like King Ghidorah going at it, and freaking I think my favorite scene that I loved when I was watching it in the theaters was the scene when Mothra came out of her cocoon and everything. It was like, oh my god, it's beautiful. Yes. And like every time Mothra was on screen, she just looked so angelic with the music and shit. I'm like, it's like she's an angel. Oh, and the scene when she shows up in the middle of the ocean with the human characters, like, who gives a shit about that? But that scene alone, when I saw it in theaters, though, that gave me like, I was just chilled to the bone, mouth wide open, and I was like, I'm going to get like, I don't know, something related to Mothra and hold it close to me. I will get a Mothra nightlight. That's how much I like that scene. Oh, it was so cool. And the rest of the movie is
awesome. I wonder if they have a Mothra nightlight.
You do?
I wonder if they have one. I'd like to buy it.
I don't doubt it. Like, if I was a hardcore kaiju fan, I would probably go out and just make one. But speaking of the subject of giant kaiju, though, I imagine you saw Pacific Rim?
Oh, yeah. Pacific Rim's good.
Oh, my God. I love the first movie. I never got around to seeing the second one just because everyone hated it. So I was like, yeah. Yeah, I think after the fact, like, they switched directors, I feel like they kind of lost their touch. So I'm just gonna stick with the first one. I'm gonna hold the first one close to me, like a Yuletide log. Just.
Yeah, I watched it. It sucks.
I bet. I was really, and the trailer was cool. I mean, the song was stupid as hell, but the trailer looked cool. You know, the new characters and Idris Elba showing the. Wait, no. I think Idris Elba was the old black guy. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna look this up.
Idris Elba was in the first one.
There you go. Whatever that one black dude from the Star Wars continuation movies.
Yeah, I can't remember his name for some reason.
It was just shoehorned in. It was out of place. Like, who the fuck is this? Where are the other characters? You only brought the scientist back, and he's like the bad guy. What the hell?
Hey, look, it's the guy from Star Wars. You know who that is. Come buy tickets to Giant Robot movie.
But he wasn't in the first. He wasn't in the first one. Like, there was no mention of his son at all. I thought he was like a veteran who like never married because he saw no happiness and shit like that. Where was he? Anyway, but no, I think the biggest offense though, like, the biggest red flag of Pacific Rim, the sequel's downfall, was the fact that they got rid of Guillermo del Toro. I don't know why, but that fucked him over the most. Because Guillermo del Toro, every film he makes, even like the bad ones, is like it's a magical touch. Here's a fun fact. I imagine you probably saw like many years ago, but you know the Blade trilogy?
I've not seen that. No.
Really? Oh, wow. Okay, well, you might want to add that to your viewing list. Blade, basically, he's a vampire hunter in the Marvel universe. The movies that were made about him, I think around, like, early 2000 and 1998 and throughout 2005. There were only 3 movies about it and a spin-off show. And one of the second movie, I forgot what it was called. Guillermo del Toro took over, and you could really tell it was a Guillermo del Toro film. Guillermo del Toro, he is well known in the cinematic in the cinema world as basically a master of special effects. More exactly though, his monster makeup effects, like Hellboy. I imagine you saw the original one.
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, you need to see these films, man. I mean, they're old and cheesy.
Yeah, I need to watch the
but
movies.
yeah, when I saw them, it was fucking amazing. I mean, Rob Perlman as Hellboy, it was just perfect, and the makeup was just always on point. Abe Sapien, a fish guy in Hellboy, he looked amazing. I don't know how Guillermo del Toro does it, but he just makes his like monster characters always look so freaking real. I think his last film a year ago, or I think 2 years ago now, Shape of Water. I think that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look this up real quick.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah. It was basically like a indirect Abe Sapien origin story. You know, it's a fish man and a woman scientist. They fall in love and shit, and they're trying to escape. It's a really good film. Guillermo del Toro, every time. I love his work. Even the shows that he made. There was a show about a book, a novel chapter book series that he did called Troll Hunter. It was surprisingly good. I don't know how or why, but you could just tell once you mention the name, you could just imagine him. Yeah, he would totally design the trolls like this. So yeah, it's really good. I love his work. He's one of the many favorite directors that I know of. But going on a tangent, let's see. I'm gonna look through the list here. Current video game you are playing?
I started Halo 3 ODST after it released on the Master Chief Collection, but I haven't finished it yet. And I can't think of any other games I've been playing.
Really? You don't play like the current crap like Fortnite, Overwatch, Apex Legends, Among Us?
Not really. I mean, I've played Among Us quite a bit, but not recently.
Wow, huh, okay. Now, here's a touch of blasphemy from me, but I've actually never got around to playing any of the Halo games. I don't know, it just never interests me. I mean, don't get me wrong, Master Chief is cool. I kind of seen some the cinematics online just out of boredom one time. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool, I can get into that. I actually came across Halo as a game originally through Red vs. Blue, funny enough.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah, that's not even like...
Yeah.
It's basically like a fan animation back then.
Yeah, I only started playing the games recently, but I really recommend them if you ever can get around to it.
Gucci. I have been thinking about upgrading. I've been wanting to buy like a new gaming laptop because there's so many at least good games I actually really want to get. More specifically, Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh yeah, that looks like a good game.
It has Keanu Reeves and he's basically a robot ghost in your head. It has to be good.
Yes, the perfect game.
Absolutely, and after seeing the original trailer and shit, I got so into it. I learned all this useless crap about it, lore wise, with not so much lore of in game, but lore of the development behind it. Apparently, Cyberpunk 2077 was based on the D&D styled board game. Well, not board game, I have to say. Tabletop role playing game. Cyberpunk 2020, funny enough. So, yeah. Imagine that, it's finally a 2020, and we don't have the flying cars and shit. It's funny, because I came across, when I went to Collector's Marketplace, it's a nerd shop in my local town. I went there, and they had all these, action figures from Marvel Legends lines of, Iron Man 2020, Spider-Man 2020. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, it's totally not like the future that they have in the comics, but you know, it sucks anyway, so that's good. Yeah. But yeah, so Cyberpunk 2020 was I think was the original tabletop role playing game. And then the guys who made Witcher, they're like, oh, okay, we're going to make a game out of this. Come around like 2018, 2019-ish, I believe. They came out with the trailer, and I was hooked. It's basically like everything 80s, like Blade Runner and shit, but you finally get to play it as a video game. I was down for that. I was down for that all the way.
Awesome.
Yeah. But okay, yeah, well, that's, Halo. Maybe I'll try it. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's cool. I'm talking in the dark here. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. And any Halo fans that are offended or upset with me for not knowing what Halo is, you have every right to be. I will definitely add that to my to-game list. Let's see.
Do it.
Absolutely. I'm just cycling through the list of questions.
Nice.
How many years of training? How years? How did you do? Yeah, I guess I feel stupid for asking these questions again. Again, in context, because we tried to record the podcast the first time, but I'm an idiot, and I did capture SlotBorg's amazing statements and points. So, okay. You know what?
No worries.
I may know that, but the listeners at home don't know that, so I guess I will go ahead and start asking the questions I asked prior. Starting with, who was your influence in doing stop motion animation?
So, at the beginning, it was mostly Michael Hickok's and Brotherhood Workshop, some big brick filmers.
Oh, wow.
And then moving on, Pantsa Hat and Moonshine Animations became big inspirations to me.
Wow.
Still are.
That is cool. You know, I'm actually friends with him on Discord. I imagine you follow him on the Discords.
I have not, actually. I should.
You definitely should. I don't know if I could send you the link to his Discord server, but his community is pretty fun. I like them. I like them a lot. They're cool.
Sweet. I'll have to check it out.
Absolutely. I strongly recommend it, because that's how I met him, actually, through his Discord. I was just one day, you know, like, I saw, oh, he's active. So I was like, okay, I'm going to send him a message. Like, hey, Pens Ahead, love what you're doing. Keep it up. And thank you for blessing us with, you know, Felix the Hippo. Speaking of which, though, have you seen his recent video with Master Chief and everything?
Oh, yeah, I have.
It's funny as hell. Bro, that's like giving a ticket to a drowning man to SeaWorld. Felix is my spirit animal. But okay, right on. That's cool, my dude. That is cool. Alright, let me see. What else did we get? Where do you see yourself in the world of stop motion? Like, do you see yourself more as being an independent animator, doing commissions and, like, high-paying projects? Or do you see yourself working with, you know, big-name studios who specialize in the animation spectrum? Like Leica, Aardman, and Stupid Buddy Studios, to name a few.
I like to think of myself as a small animator, just doing whatever I want on YouTube, just for fun.
Right on, right on. Later down the line, do you ever see yourself, like, doing tutorials on, like, how you go about, like, making characters or writing stories and such?
I might in the future, but at the moment, no.
Okay, nice. Alright, let's see. I already asked that. We already talked about that. We already talked about that too. Toys, I did that. Oh, okay, here's a good one. Favorite stop motion animated movie or show that you've seen?
Favorite stop motion movie, you said?
Stop motion movie or show, yeah.
I'd have to say Shaun the Sheep, like the movie and the show.
I gotta ask, you haven't done...
What?
Sorry, go ahead. I was stepping on your line there.
Oh, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh, I was gonna ask. You talk about like more specifically Aardman Shaun the Sheep a lot. Was that like the show you grew up with mostly?
Yeah. It's the stop motion show I grew up with.
Wow.
That and Wallace and Gromit, but more so with Shaun the Sheep.
Was it through like public television or online?
I can't actually remember where I watched it. I think I had it on some sort of streaming service.
Wow. Okay.
Can't remember what.
Huh. That's interesting. Funny enough, I think Shaun the Sheep, they actually made a Netflix show about it. You know, just the continuation.
Really?
Yeah, just a continuation of him and his like what do you call a group of sheep? A herd, I guess. Him and his friends, I guess. Yeah, they were just shooting the shit. But I always loved just watching the animation, just how clean and how like animated it is. Aardman has such a unique style in terms of their movement and the comedy, especially. I think the first episode in Shaun the Sheep, the Netflix series, they make a pizza business and everything in the behind the barn. It's cool. It's just cool seeing the animation come to life and just how much work there was put into just every little detail. The little touches of like when they put like the flattened dough into the oven, you actually see it grow and form into a pizza. It was just so cool. Even though it's like primarily a kid's show, I feel like it's just artsy in and of itself as an animator. It's just fun to watch.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think the stop motion shows that I grew up watching, and this was before I was allowed on YouTube, and I came across all these amazing YouTube stop motion animators. Off the top of my head, I think it was Postman Pat, Dragon. It's a blue dragon that lives by himself. Koala Brothers, which was very, very Australian. That I was like, as a kid, I was thinking, why the hell do they talk like this? I don't care. It looks fun. It's just two koala brothers who are like they're rescue rangers, I guess, in the Australian desert or some shit. They fly a plane. It was pretty cool. There was another one off the top of my head. Oh yeah, Mr. Bump Goes Bump in the Night. That was an old one. I imagine you probably came across it, right?
No, never heard of it.
Let me show you a picture that sums it up greatly. Let's see. Mr. Bumpy Goes Bump in the Night. My name is Mr. Bumpy. I go bump in the night. Mr. Bumpy. But it's a very old show from ABC, and it's good. It's all stop motion, but it's very old stop motion. You could tell just from like the some of the shots and the effects. It's definitely like an old stop motion show. But it's so cool just to see how that's how stop motion was done back then. Oh wow, there's a figure? Looks ugly as hell, but I'd buy it. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, that one's a bit too small. I'm gonna want like a big ass picture. Why are they all small? Alright, there we go. Here's a good one. Oh god, it's grainy as hell though. Never mind. Fuck it! Okay, I guess that'll have to do. Alright, we're gonna do this one. Oh, why is it so grainy? I hate it. Oh, I just realized it's old. Of course it's gonna be grainy. Alright, copy image. And I don't know if you're on the chat right now on Discord, but I'm gonna send you a pic of Mr. Bumpy Goes Bump in the Night.
Yeah, I am.
whenever you get the chance, I strongly recommend you watch this show just for how the animation looks. Goes bump in the night. But yeah, that sums it up in one frame. It's just this very energetic sock eating under the bed monster hanging out with all the toys and other creatures that live in this house. It's funny. I like it.
Neat.
Yeah.
It looks interesting.
Oh, another stop motion show I remember seeing. This was a mini. This was kind of like a brief second animation series from Nickelodeon. I think it was Purple and Brown. That's their names. Let me see. Purple and Brown cartoon show. Here we go. Yeah. What the hell? Why am I getting all these? What are these called again? Littlest Pet Shop. That's right. That's what they're called. I'm just wondering, like, why am I getting Littlest Pet Shop figures in the search? Weird. Anyway.
Oh.
Here we go. Oh, wait, no. Yes, this is perfect. Alright, copy image. Here's another show that I grew up with way back then. Purple and Brown. This was a short animation show in between like regular shows like SpongeBob, Danny Phantom and shit. It would play like in between commercials, and it's just seeing these two weird creatures just screwing around.
Oh, I remember these guys.
Yeah. Oh, forgive me, I need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved watching it. It was just so fun. There's this one skit they did with bubblegum, and this actually is kind of like the vibe that I see like aspiring stop motion animators doing. Just just a mini series of two random characters just doing random shit. I feel like that'd definitely be like a medium that any young animator or stop motion animator really can touch on. I was actually considering doing it for a time. I still am. It's just that I'm too ambitious for my own good. So I really want to try my hand at like making like long stop motion short films. Oh, there you go. For those of you who can't see in the Discord chat, Borg just shared like a GIF with Brown eating popcorn or something. I like it. That's my favorites. But yeah, let's see, what else is there? Touched on that. Talked about that too. I already know this, but again, the listeners don't know this. But when you started stop motion animation, what was the most challenging part of what was the learning curves or the issues that you had to overcome when you were learning animation or like making a video?
Learning to be patient was really difficult. I would often get discouraged when something didn't work out quite right, and I threatened to give up several times.
But you stuck with your guns, and now you got all these shorts, which are really good, by the way.
Thank you.
No problem, man.
I kept going, and here I am.
Nice. I think the biggest challenge for me when I started, and to this day it still is, honestly, editing out the rigs. Like some scenes, like not scenes, a few frames, it's clean, like you could hardly tell like there was a rig there. But then in some other frames, you could tell like, oh damn it, the ground is like darker than the rest of it, so it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, rigs are a pain.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure I don't know if it was GIMP. Maybe it was GIMP, but there's some software out there where you can actually edit out the rig in real time in tandem with the video. So how you basically go about it is that you have the video overlaid on a still image of like a clear background with no characters and just the background itself. And what you do is that I don't think it's called cropping. I know what I'm talking about, but I just don't know the terminology and how to explain it. But you basically like select the rig, and then you cut it out through the raw footage instead of just the frame, and then you just play the footage, and whatever scenes are like, oh, okay, so the background changes lighting here, or it shifts just a bit here. You could make adjustments through the raw footage itself rather than just taking the frame and editing out the rig through there, which is what I'm doing currently. It's fine. It's just very time consuming, and I actually really want to see if I could start utilizing GIMP or something to edit out the rigs quicker. So that way I don't have to dedicate like a good... I think the longest I've done just recently for my project that I just finished editing was I think like a week. I spent like a whole week just editing out rigs for all these frames I did. And that's the biggest issue in stop motion. Yeah. Like especially like amateur stop motion animators like me and you. When going about the editing process, especially like the raw shooting, honestly that's pretty easy in my opinion. It comes easy once you figure out, oh, okay, so this is 24 frames per second, so I'm going to shoot in double, shit like that. But editing is just so time consuming, and I just really want to get this done, but I don't, like, I know the methods, it's just that I wish I had, like, what's the word, access to these more liable, methods of editing.
Yeah. I usually end up leaving my rigs in just because I'm lazy, but I probably should try to edit them out.
Yeah. And I was the same way too. But here's the thing with me. I'm at your rigs. Last thing I remember, they're mostly transparent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you can get away with that because it looks. Oh, okay. Yeah. This is just a guy animating his toys, and it looks cool. I think I forgot his name, but he's a very talented stop motion animator. Leonardo something, but he leaves the rigs out in the open, and it looks cool. But the thing with me, my rigs are custom made by me, right? So they stick out like a sore thumb. You see like this hunk of black metal with a metal bendable arm just like hooked up to the figure, like, huh, okay, so that's what's keeping it up in the air. It breaks the illusion. So I have to painstakingly go in and edit out the rig through paint.net for like 2 to 3 hours at a time just for that one scene that's like 15 to like a second long.
Yeah.
It's a chore, but we suffer for our art. We suffer for our art. Now, here's a question that I'm asking on a personal note, actually. Your Discord server, how's it like running a Discord server dedicated to the stop motion animation? Like, what are the challenges and issues that you come across your first time managing a server?
Managing a server is pretty easy when you keep it small, but then there's people that come along and mess with the rules. There's trolls that come along.
Unfortunately.
Bam. Yeah. It can be tiring, but it's worth it, I think.
Alright. So aside from trolls, have you ever run into like any I don't even know how to say it, but I have seen it happen before where some guys who run servers, they feel like, oh, okay, this server is primarily becoming this, so I'm just gonna make a new server focusing on that subject or stuff like that. Have you ever like seen anything like that in terms of like community wise?
Not really.
Wow. Okay. That is very interesting because and Panzer Hat server, funny enough, is where I saw it. Where they started out with one server. And it was cool for a while, but then people started being inactive or like you said, like screwing with the rules by being trolls and everything. So Panzer had made a new server, right? So there were 2 of them at the time, and he basically just handed it over to his moderators, and they just flat out deleted it later on.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean it was unfortunate too because that's where a lot of my contacts were. But fortunately, I friended them before they deleted the original server, so I'm still in contact with them. But little things like that. Like I always I'm gonna give it until my subscribers count reaches to at least maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000. To start making a community server because I really want to and I'm sure I'm just talking out of my ass about it, but I really want to make a stop motion community that's on fire, passionate about either learning about the animation style or just supporting it in any way possible, sharing and learning about it and crap like that. Because when I started teaching myself stop motion animation, to me it felt like such an underrated animation style. You got all these hand drawn digital artist animators. You got these CGI animators, and it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disservicing any form of animation. It's just that to me, stop motion is definitely the underdog because it's this animation where you literally bring figures to life. You have to hand make everything. The biggest example I could say was Will Vinton's Adventures of Mark Twain movie. What's very well known about that film was the fact that everything was made out of clay. And I exaggerate nothing when I say this. The scene in the sky when Mark Twain and the other characters are flying through the storm in his dirigible. It's basically like a blimp or like a air balloon ship. The storm itself, funny enough, was clay. I couldn't tell for the life of me, what? That's clay? How? And then I saw, oh my god, that's clever. And then I came across this video on YouTube of the behind the scenes. What they did was that they took, this giant light, they put this glass in front of it, right? And then they just smeared all this, industrial blue clay on the glass to give it the illusion of, a very heavy storm in the sky. It was holy shit, that is so cool. And the rest of the film too is just incredible. There are scenes where the clay just completely transforms into something else so seamlessly, different color, different shape and all. I'm thinking to myself how the hell did he do all this? It was so cool. I'm probably being inaccurate about this statement. But I think around that time, and this is a movie that was in the 60s, I believe, The Adventures of Mark Twain took Will Vinton about 15 years to make because of how intricate, I'm probably not using that word properly, how difficult basically it was to animate everything in clay. But the end result definitely shows, and it is beautiful. I love it. It's so good.
I'll have to watch it sometime. It sounds awesome.
It's very awesome. You would definitely love it. You've probably seen it on YouTube, but the most famous scene from The Adventures of Mark Twain was the scene with the devil. Satan, he's this headless, armored body that's moving around, and his face is a shape-shifting mask.
Oh yeah, I have seen that.
That's a scene from The Adventures of Mark Twain. It's very cool. It basically touches on, the devil's perspective on humanity. It's really cool.
Huh.
Yeah, the visuals alone are pretty messed up. But that's classic films for you. Back then, kids films, they didn't give a fuck. I think the greatest example of that was the 80s animated films, Watership Down, which was for kids, and it showed the brutality of being a rabbit of all things.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty metal. And then a personal favorite of mine from Don Bluth has got to be Secret of Nim.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, dude, you would love it. Is it good? It's so good. It's 80s, so you're thinking to yourself oh my god, how did they get away with this? But yeah. So Secret of Nim was created by Don Bluth. He was basically the OG rebel against Disney at the time because they were a big name animation studio, and he basically wanted to be the animator that could top Disney. So he went and made his own stop motion studio. He's retired now. He's doing lessons online to be an animator. Um,
Oh,
yeah, it's really cool. But he basically branched off from Disney because he originally used to work for them, and his first movie, I believe, was Secret of Nim. And the story about that movie is basically about this. It's about this mouse, an anthropomorphic mouse. She's a mother, and one of her kids is dying because he's sickly ill. So she crosses this, this forest and everything, just to meet the advanced rats, so to speak, um, just to find a cure for her son. There's a lot of lore that they include, but it's so seamless. It's short and sweet, and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's like a combination of magic and science somehow, but you're feeling sorry for this mother because she's just going through all this shit just to save her kid. I think the scariest part was probably when she was chased by this fat, evil cat named Dragon. Like, seriously, who the fuck names their cat Dragon? Oh, it's crazy. And it nearly gets her. Dragon nearly eats her. I'm like, oh my god! But then there are the scenes that are just so graphic that, like, no 4 or 5-year-old should see. I think the biggest one was the origin of the intelligent rats. They were lab rats, funny enough, and they showed, like, the scientists sticking needles in them, throwing them in cages and shit. I'm like, oh my god! This is dark! And there's this one scene when, at, like, midway through the end, this elder rat who's, like, this wise man and everything, he gets killed, and, like this, I think it was, like, a carrot or some shit, falls on him, right? It's like, oh my god, they killed him off screen. But no, they pulled the classic, they showed his hand and his body's under the rubble. Oh, it was so dark, I love it. God,
awesome.
I miss 80s animated kids films. They held nothing back. Especially Watership Down. Now that's a movie that will make you, like, you can't look at rabbits or bunnies the same way again after it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's just so brutal. I wish they'd bring back that kind of genre for kids films nowadays. They kind of did. Fuck, I'm trying to remember what movie it was. But the visuals on it was just so adult. Like, I could only imagine, like, the kids' thoughts of, like, Mom, why is he red and burning? Oh, man. And they need to bring back 80s kids film vibes. I don't care if, like, this generation, so to speak, woke or PC. They need to see some, like, awesome animation. But,
yeah.
Let's see. Going off a tangent again. Okay, here's a question. Mostly through, like, your StopMotion experience online. Whenever you were looking for, voice actors or fellow, StopMotion animators, what was it like to, interact with with people online that share your interests?
It was nice to have friends with the same interests, and it was like whenever I had a problem, they usually had a solution, and whenever they had a problem, someone else had a solution. And
Okay.
it's awesome.
Can you name an experience? Like, can you name somebody and what they bleh, had a tongue twist right there? What the experience was like with that?
I think one of the first people from the brick film community that I met was Rio Force, and I can't really think of any specific examples of thing. I can't think words.
So it was just.
But yeah, he's a
sailing
cool
throughout?
guy. What was that?
Oh, so it was smooth sailing throughout.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Now, speaking of the brick film community, funny enough, now I do like the subset forms of stop motion. You got pixel stop motion where you're basically taking like live a human being and you're taking still frames with that. the most famous example being like the how to cook a controller or some shit like that. Just this guy animating his hand cooking all these inanimate objects like their food. And then you got claymation, you know exactly what it sounds like. Guys who work with clay, like Lee Hardcastle. And then you got brick filmers, you know, guys who animate primarily with Lego. When I tried my hand at like, now see, I never owned like a Lego anything in my life. Mostly they were mostly through like childhood friends' houses or crap like that. But I never personally owned them. Up until when I was like, I think 17 at the time, I was like, oh, okay, I can make a custom figure through Lego stuff. So I went and bought some Legos, right? Only to find, like, I don't know how the hell you, brick filmers in general are able to work with such a tiny, tiny ass figure. I mean, this figure is like barely the size of my fingernail, and it's like 2 or 3 inches tall at the most. It's insane.
It definitely takes a lot of patience, but it helps that they stick their feet to the ground.
Oh yeah, that totally helps with the pegs and shit and everything. What impresses me the most, the intricacies. There we go, intricacies. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, brain. You're welcome. Anyway, how intricate they could go with the animation and just animating with Lego. I've seen some pretty kick-ass brick film short films. I think my favorite one has got to be the one where there's this agent, right? And he's chasing a train that's being boarded by the bad guys and shit. But it's literally like this segment from an action movie just throughout. You know, they're having fights on the cars, chasing the train. The guy hops onto the train and he fights the guys in there. It's just so cool. I forgot the guy's name, but there was this other very talented stop-motion animator. Let me see if I can look him up real quick, because he is very cool. I'm gonna go on YouTube. No, I don't want to see any of that right now. Let's see. I'm just gonna type in Lego stop-motion just to narrow it down. Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, that it's crazy just how freaking all out they could go with this stuff now. There's this ad playing.
Yeah.
I don't care about these ads. Get out of my face.
Yeah, I know some really talented animators.
Absolutely. Now, see, I could never do it because I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable animating such a tiny figure. It feels weird to me. Anyway, that thumbnail alone, like, look at that effort that was put in. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, another one that I really like. It was a Western brick film. It's this guy who goes into like a bar and he just has a shootout. It's pretty insane. Oh, matter of fact, do you know who Edbound is?
Oh yeah, I know of Edbound.
Edbound is probably the most OG, not so much OG, but he is without a doubt the most entertaining brick filmer I ever came across. In terms of like searching for stop motion animators to watch online. When I came across him through Newgrounds as well, and I loved his short film with Batman just raiding this construction building. His comedy, his voice, everything about what he does with these Legos is just so fucking entertaining. I love it.
Yeah, he's fun.
He is very fun. I'm looking forward to like talking to him on like a social level at some point. I think currently he's working on the short film movie that he really wanted to do. What was it called again? Let me see. I'm gonna look it up. Edbound. I saw the trailer and it made me burst out laughing. It was fucking hilarious. I'm trying to see what it was. Where are you? Dr. something. Fuck. Where are you? Where are you? I'm sure if I just cycle through everything he's done. Oh, popular uploads, of course. Now we're gonna go through uploads. At least that way it's in chronological order, so I don't have to suffer when I'm finding it. Doctor something. God damn it! I'm trying to remember the name, but it escapes me. Strong
I
Doctor.
haven't watched
Here we
it.
go. Strong
So
Doctor.
I don't know.
Oh, we get it, ads, the black community and everything. Get out of here. I'm black and I'm annoyed with the content. Yes, contrary to my voice, I am of African American descent. I was too Asian for my own good. I'm more Asian than black.
Oh yeah, I have seen this, I think.
Yeah, Strong Doctor the movie. I think he's working on that right now. But you could just tell. I love it when you could tell it's someone's work just through their style alone. You know, Edbound style, it's all fast-paced, short quips. It's basically Spider-Man, but if he was an animator. That's the best way I could summarize it. Edbound is Spider-Man as a brick filmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, have you ever, I got way late into, your animation. I think the first thing I ever saw was Villains Inc. Episode 1. But have you ever animated with, Lego minifigures?
Oh yeah, that's how I started.
Oh, wow, right on. What was it like? I mean, they're so freaking small, I can only imagine.
It's kind of easy, actually. I mean, not easy, about as easy as stop motion can get, but, they're fun.
Huh, okay, cool. So here's my question. Would you, I don't know if you worked with them yet, but would you prefer the Creo minifigures or Lego minifigures?
Definitely Lego minifigures.
Wow, really? But
I've never used Creo figures, but I've held them, and they're a lot, they just feel a lot cheaper.
Huh.
Because they are.
Wow, look at that. Any guys who work with Creo minifigures, you heard it here first. To each their own, you know, whatever works for them. But I don't know, I never worked with these minifigures, again, because I absolutely refuse to. But if I were to, I'd much rather prefer, the Creo minifigures just because they have more articulation. Just because of that.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I've seen, Butro X Productions. That's a guy I've seen work with, the Creo minifigures, primarily the Halo ones. He makes it look so clean. Like, I never would have guessed, like, those figures were just barely the size of my thumb, and he managed to, like, make it look bigger in scale than it actually is. That's the best way I could put it. I think my favorite bit was when he animated Master Chief, like, spinning, the Warthog like a freaking, like, sign and everything. I was like, what the hell? How'd he do that shit? Yeah, man. So yeah, in terms of minifigures and animating them in stop motion, I'd much rather prefer the Creo minifigures. But if you could work with those Lego minifigures, more power to you. But just know I will rarely do it. Like, I'll be down to try it once or twice or even like 4 times, but I really refuse to work with such tiny figures. I much rather prefer 6-inch action figures like Marvel Legends, Jazzware's Fortnite Legendaries line. I even invested some money in a whole a complete squad team of Overwatch Ultimates figures. But speaking of which, what is your like favorite action figure to work with whenever you're animating?
That is a good question.
Let's see. I know in Villains Inc. you have Thanos, you have Darth Vader, you have the Ender Dragon.
I really like working with the Indoraptor. He's probably my favorite.
Indoraptor. Funny enough, I actually have an Indoraptor. Is it like the big one with all that articulation?
Yeah, he's the big black dinosaur guy.
Yeah. Okay. Here, let me show you what I do with mine. I actually Funny story with that Indoraptor that I have. When I think this was like back in 2019, we moved into a new house, me and my family. Let's see.
Uh-huh.
And um, at the time, I was going through some phases, and I was just desperate for money. So I went to Collector's Marketplace in my local town, right? And I sold the figure because I needed the money. But I'm trying to think here. Oh yeah, later down the line when the Velociraptor from Jurassic Park came out as a figure, I was like, oh, I should get a new one. But the thing is, that figure was so freaking rare because it was in the bargain bin toy section at Ross, right? So they're basically like the step up from Goodwill. So when on the off chances am I ever gonna get that figure again? I even looked online to buy it. It's pricey as hell for some reason. I don't know why. I bought that figure at Ross for $6. These mother hubbers were trying to sell it for like $30 to $60 online. I was like, well, shit. So later on in I think through the end of last year, I went back to Collector's Marketplace hoping that it was still there, and lo and behold, it was. So I bought it back, and I haven't worked with it again yet, but I really want to because I really want to animate the Jurassic Park Velociraptor fighting the Indoraptor eventually. That's one of my projects that I want to try.
That'd be so cool.
It would be. It totally would be. I've never animated an animal before, but it'd definitely be a cool start. Well, actually, I did. It's just that what I did with the Indoraptor figure, I actually animated him fighting one of my Bionicle mocks. I'm gonna send you the link right now. Warhead versus Indoraptor. So yeah, that was the first time I ever animated an animal figure, and it was fun. The challenge definitely for me was the fact like how difficult it was to get him stable because of how like freaking awkward his feet are. But yeah. Other than that, it was definitely fun. I do like the size. I do like the huge articulation he has. There are some gripes I had, but other than that, it wasn't too bad. Which, funny enough, I actually even did a figure review once I got the figure. So if you guys want to see that, stop by to my channel, look at figure reviews, and you'll see the figure review of the Indoraptor. It's a pretty fun one. Oh, you know what? I was curious because let me see. I'm gonna head to your channel right now, SlotBorg. And actually, before I even start, what gave you the idea to give yourself that name, SlotBorg?
That's a long story. So, I've been making stories for like my whole life, and one of these stories was called Cloud Kingdom, about a castle on a cloud. And there was a giant ant named SlotBorg, and that's where I got the name.
Wow.
I named him SlotBorg because it sounded cool.
It does sound cool. I like it. And this is from, like, your own story, too. That's very unique. I like that. Oh, hello. That's right. This is one of your earlier stuff. How to beat Bowser. I'm actually gonna take a look at this right now. Now, is this a SH Figure Arts Mario figure or a Jack specific Mario figure?
Yeah, that's the SH Figure Arts Mario.
Bruh, that must have been expensive. I can't get my hands on one. I actually want to get a Luigi SH Figure Arts figure because I like Player 2. Luigi's my favorite character. He's the underdog. But the price for those figures are just so freaking expensive.
Yeah, I've got both Mario and Luigi.
Nice, man. How'd you go about getting your hands on them?
I just found them on Amazon.
For how
I
much?
can't remember how much they costed.
Ah, darn. Well, I'm sure they're pricey as hell now.
Probably.
Oh, you even have Yoshi. That's nice. I think the only video game related characters I have so far is Mario, Luigi, Sonic, Steve, Alex, uh, a lot of Fortnite characters, and a lot of Overwatch characters. I was originally gonna do like a fan animation in tribute to Moonshine, but I never got around to it yet. I'm going to eventually. That's definitely one of my that's definitely one of the short films I really want to do. I want to do like a tribute to Moonshine Animations because same with me. He kind of inspired me as well to try stop motion, but that was much later on. The first online animator that inspired me, funny enough, was Counter 656. Very
Oh yeah,
talented.
that guy.
Yeah, yeah. I what was the first video you saw of
Good
his?
stuff. I'd have to look. I think it was his Mario ones.
Mario. So that must have been pretty recent then. Let's see. Counter 656 Mario.
Oh man, he's still active. I should subscribe.
Oh yeah. Counter 656 six has been active for a long time. He's primarily doing ads for overseas stuff like figures. I think the most recent one he actually did a stop motion bit for his home country in Taiwan, for a Lego submarine line.
I must be thinking of a different person because he doesn't have any Mario videos.
Probably because I typed in Counter 656 Mario. The first thing that came up was Moonshine Animation's Super Smash Bros. Parody.
Ah,
Yeah, I wish that he continued that idea for a series, but he couldn't because he was moving at the time. He lost interest in the project, but at least he's continuing Shrapnel. I'm really looking forward to Shrapnel.
yeah.
Yeah, but let's see. I'm looking for the pictures right now. I really, really want to do like a whole stop motion fan film in honor of Moonshine Animations later in the future. And I went so far as to actually invest money in some figures for it. Let me see if I could pull some of them up. Here we go. Here's a good one. So one of the custom figures that I made, and for those of you who are watching who don't know what the customizing figures is, the terminology or the lingo, so to speak, is basically kit bashing. It's basically when you take a model kit or an action figure and you customize it to be something else. When I started out, I couldn't really do it as well as I do now. So, the first figure I did, I went and customized customized, quote unquote, if you see me, doing air quotes with my fingers, was a super American called the Patriot. And I'm going to show you some pics right now, my man. I'm going to send them to you.
Alrighty. Oh, that looks neat.
Yeah. All I did was I took two figures and I mishmashed some of the parts, mostly the head and the hands. But after that, I really wanted to do a fan film about this character in the world of Shrapnel, how he goes about doing shit, and of course he's a hunter killer and crap like that. But just that alone kind of speaks volumes of the ability of a really dedicated animator, or really dedicated artisan in general. If you're passionate about something and you hook everyone's interest about it, it'll take you places. With Moonshine, and I mentioned this before, you know how he works at Sony, I think as a storyboard writer, I think. So he writes stuff for Sony. But his stuff, Off the Grid, Kill Contract, it's just so good, and it makes me want to be somewhat a part of this world, like as a fan. So I went and made this character. Eventually, I'm going to, do that short with this guy. And then after that, there's so many other things that I want to do. Like, let's see. Let's see, what else is there? I am trying to find it. Well, actually, on the subject of kit bashing, there are a lot of figures that I went and customized. This one right here was a wrestler character I really wanted to get off the ground, because I was thinking to myself one day, okay, so I have some understanding of how to customize figures. What can I make next? And then it hit me. When I was watching my favorite anime to this day, Kengan Ashura on Netflix, I was like, I should make a fighting character. So I settled on a wrestler. So I went to Collector's Marketplace and bought like a Triple H Elite figure and a vinyl pug figure. And I just threw its head on top of Triple H's. And then that's how K9 was born. Yeah. This one was a very simple customization. I gutted the vinyl figure, decapitated it, and slapped its head on top of Triple H.
Nice.
Yeah, but I was very
Looks
proud of
good.
that one. Thank you. Oh, here, let me see. Oh, wait, no, I actually showed you that. When I animated with him, wrestling this one guy. But the most challenging one that I ever did was, and I don't know why, I just felt like it that day. I thought to myself one day, I want to make a custom My Little Pony figure. I swear I'm not a brony, I swear. So I went online and I looked up, okay, do these guys have like articulated figures of these ponies? And eventually I found a few of them and I was like, yeah, okay. So here are the digital drawings of the design I was going for, because I found a figure that works for me. So I went to the 99-cent store, and lo and behold, it's the exact figure I was looking for, and they were only selling it for $2 to $3. It's like, oh shit, okay, nice, I'm gonna buy this. So I did, and I felt self-conscious for a bit, like, god damn it, they say this giant fat guy buying a My Little Pony toy, like, fuck. But I went home, and I went and customized it, and then that's when I made Epiphany.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I wanted to basically just take like this dark take on like the My Little Pony as a whole. So I was like, okay, we're gonna make like a dark version of like this like girly kid show. So that's when I made her. Let me see if I could share it. I want to.
I didn't know they had articulated My Little Ponies.
Yeah, same. I was surprised because I think the first one I ever saw was, funny enough, let me see, what was it? Oh, that's right. It was through Moonshine when he did Brooklyn Nine-Nine skits, but through his animations. I was like, oh wow, they have articulated My Little Pony figures. Huh, that's cool. Like, I could customize one. I could make like a evil version of My Little Pony where she like has magic powers and completely destroys everything. So that's what I did. Ew,
awesome.
Why is my thumbnail all messed up? That's weird. Oh, that is weird. I'll have to check on that later. Alright, let's see. I want to see if I could find it. Thank God I made a playlist, otherwise it'd be difficult to search. Oh, hey, I got 11 likes. Hell yeah. I'm very happy with that. Copy. And paste. And then this is when I animated with the figure the first time. It was fun. I didn't have any voice actors at the time, so I cringingly did it all myself. It was worth it. It was worth it. You know, I really got a lot. I'm glad now that I'm working with a lot more voice talents, especially Twitter, man. Like before then, I used to do castingcallclub.com, where I found most of my voice actors. But ever since I utilized social media with my in tandem with my channel, it's just become so easier to find talents to work with.
Yeah, voice actors are handy.
Absolutely.
I just force my friends to do it.
Nice. Oh, you know, now I feel stupid. Damn it! I just realized Okay, so my current project with one of my custom figures fighting these 3 wads of clay, right? It was
Uh-huh.
originally supposed to be Patriot. But the thing was, I worked with Patriot for so long, I got bored with him for a bit. I was like, damn it, I want to try, utilize a different character. So I went as far as to actually make a new custom figure. This time it was a girl. And she fights the clay figures. So I guess I can show you that right now. Let me see. Here we go. Here we go. So this is the raw footage that I've done so far. I actually finished editing out the rigs and everything, so now I just gotta run them through the movie editing software. But this is what I got. My files are too powerful. What the hell? It was only like a few seconds long. How's it too powerful? Let's see. We're gonna try number 3 then. Still too powerful. What the hell? All right. That's too bad. Unless let's see. Oh, I am getting a message through the text. We have been recording for about an hour and 35. Why? No, you gotta get going.
No, I'm just getting kind of tired.
Same. No, like me. You'll see it like occasionally, but I can talk for hours on end. It's a problem. But all right. Well, I guess we could wrap it up from here, so you could rest up. I imagine you got your projects to work on and the like.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. But all right, so wrapping things up, SlotBorg, do you got any closing statements to give to our listeners out there?
Do the projects you want to do. Don't force yourself to do anything you don't want to do. Unless you have to for some reason. Go subscribe to me and Green Man. And that's Spetkado OS Soup. Goodbye.